At my school's assembly, the quiet kid came up to me and asked, "Can you hold this?" Hold what? But he was already handing me his backpack. I thought I'd be polite, but just as I took it, he speed walked out of the back door. I thought it was really weird, especially because the backpack was unusually heavy. I stood there holding it awkwardly, wondering if I should just set it down and find my seat, but something felt wrong about how fast he'd left, how he'd avoided eye contact, how his hands had been shaking when he passed it to me. Why would he just give it to me? But as I thought about how weirdly heavy it was, I heard something weird, some ticking sound. I was about to look inside, but didn't want him to catch me snooping. But then, that's when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Look inside. What the hell? Who was watching me? I looked around but didn't see anyone. My hands trembled as I unzipped the main compartment, and that's when I saw it. A big red timer that said 4:47. It was a bomb, an actual bomb in my hands. The timer changed to 4:46. I nearly dropped the bag. Another text. Don't scream. If you move, we'll set it off. Don't even think about trying to call the police. My legs turned to jello. This couldn't be real. I was standing in the middle of the crowd surrounded by my entire school. If this thing went off, they'd all for sure die. But if I ran outside with it, I'd die. I texted back with shaking fingers. What do you want from me? The response was immediate. To see you suffer. Enjoy your last 30 seconds alive. Wait, 30 seconds? My shirt was soaked with sweat. I couldn't let all these people die, even the ones who'd been cruel. But I also couldn't die. I was 17. I frantically texted back, "Please don't do this. I'll do anything." My hand shook as I waited for a response, sweat literally dripping off me onto the floor. Other people were starting to look at me, noticing how stressed I was. However, my phone stayed silent. Why weren't they responding? Were they watching me panic? My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode before the bomb did. I had two choices: run outside with it and die alone, or leave it and try to save myself while everyone else died. I made my choice. I knew what I had to do, so in one motion, I grabbed that backpack and ran towards the back exit. I only had a seconds, so I sprinted down the aisle between the bleachers, people's legs everywhere trying not to trip. "Bomb!" I screamed. "There's a bomb! Everyone get out!" Nobody took me seriously until they saw the backpack I was holding like it was life or death. Then, the panic was instant. People started screaming, pushing, falling over each other. I could hear teachers yelling for order, but nobody was listening. 10 seconds until this thing went off. I slammed through the emergency exit door so hard it bounced off the wall. 8 seconds. The parking lot stretched out in front of me. I had to act fast. Then I saw it. The football field was to my right, completely empty. I just moved. My sneakers pounded against the asphalt as I ran toward it, the backpack bouncing against my chest, the timer in my head. 4 seconds. I could hear everyone screaming, running the opposite direction of me. I reached the edge of the field. 2 seconds. I grabbed that thing and chucked it as hard as I could. It flew through the air, tumbling end over end, landing maybe 40 yards away. I threw myself on the ground, covered my head, and waited. 1 second. My entire life was flashing before my eyes, knowing there was no way that bag made it far enough to save me. This was it. This was goodbye. But strangely, nothing happened. I looked up. The backpack was just sitting there in the grass. But then, I heard screaming coming from the parking lot. I looked over and saw officers had the same kid on the ground. One cop was holding a phone, his phone. That's why he hadn't responded to my last text. They knew the whole time and stopped him before he set it off.